Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांक्षन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are reading 6 verses today. So I'll be reciting the 6 verses and then we can do avritti of the last verse. The verse 16 from text from chapter 39. Smarantyaś cāparāḥ śaurer anurāga-smiteritāḥ hṛdi-spṛśaś citra-padā giraḥ sammumuhuḥ striyaḥ gatim sulalitam cheshtam snigdhahasavalokanam shokapahani narmani prodhyama charitani ca cintayanto mukundasya bhita virah cāparāḥ sameta sanghashah prochur ashrumukhyo chutāṣaya aho vidhātastavana kvachiddaya sanyojya maitrya pranayena dehinah tan shakritarthan viyunangshya parthakam vikriditam terbhakacheshtitam yatha yastvam pradarsyasita kuntalavritam mukundavaktram sukapolamunnasam shokāpanodasmitalesha sundaram karosi parokshamasadhute kritam krūrastvamakṛūrasamakhyayasmanas chakshurhidattam harase batagyava yenaikadeshe khilasargashausthavam tvadiyamadraksmavayam madhudvishah krūrastvamakṛūrasamakhyayasmanas chakshurhidattam harase batagyava yenaikadeshe khilasargashausthavam tvadiyamadraksmavayam madhudvishah krūrastvamakṛūrasamakhyayasmanas chakshurhidattam harase batagyava yenaikadeshe khilasargashausthavam tvadiyamadraksmavayam madhudvishah krūrastvamakṛūrasamakhyayasmanas chakshurhidattam harase batagyava yenaikadeshe khilasargashausthavam tvadiyamadraksmavayam madhudvishah. Mataji. krūrastvamakrūrasamakhyayasmanash chakshurhidattam harase vathagyava yenaikadeshe khila sarga shausthavam tvadiyamadrakshmavayam madhudvishah krūrastvamakrūrasamakhyayasmanash chakshurhidattam harase vathagyava yenaikadeshe khila sarga shausthavam tvadiyamadrakshmavayam madhudisha krūra, cruel, tvam, you are, akrūra samakhyaya, by the name Akrura, which means not cruel, sma, certainly, nah, our, chakshu, eyes, he, indeed, dattam, given, harase, you are taking, bata, alas, agya, a fool, vat, just like, yena, with which, eyes, eka, in one, deshe, place, akhila, of all, sarga, the creation, sausthavam, the perfection, twadiyam, your, adrakshma, have seen, vayam, we, madhudvishah, of Lord Kṛṣṇa, enemy of the demon Madhu. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: O Providence, though you come here with the name Akrura, you are indeed cruel. For like a fool, you are taking away what you once gave us. Those eyes with which we have seen, even in one feature of Lord Madhudvisha's form, the perfection of your entire creation. Purport: the gopis did not care to see anything but Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, if Kṛṣṇa left Vrindavan, their eyes would have no function. Thus, Kṛṣṇa's departure was blinding these poor girls, and in their distress, they berated Akrura, whose name means not cruel, as cruel indeed. Hare Krishna. So, today we are reading from 10th canto, 39th chapter, and today we are discussing 6 verses from verse 16 to 21 in this 39th chapter. So it's very difficult to do justice to each verse, each word in such a short time. So there are 2 sections we can see in this 6 verses. The first 3 verses Oh, is it? Okay, Okay, so 16 translation. And still other young women fainted simply by remembering the words of Lord Kṛṣṇa, Lord Śauri. These words, decorated with wonderful phrases and expressed with affectionate smiles, would deeply touch the young girls' hearts. Translation to 17 and 18. The gopis were frightened at the prospect of even the briefest separation from Lord Mukunda. So now, as they remembered his graceful gait, his pastimes, his affectionate smiling glances, his heroic deeds, and his joking words, which would relieve their distress, they were beside themselves with anxiety at the thought of the great separation about to come. They gathered in groups and spoke to one another, their faces covered with tears and their minds fully absorbed in Achyuta. The gopis said, "O Providence, you have no mercy. You bring embodied creatures together in friendship and love, and then senselessly separate them before they fulfill their desire. This whimsical play of yours is like a child's game. Having shown us Mukunda's face, framed by dark locks and beautified by his fine cheeks, raised nose and gentle smiles, which eradicate all misery, you are now making that face invisible. This behavior of yours is not at all good." And the last verse, as we already read, "O Providence, though you come here with this name Akrura, you are indeed cruel. For like a fool, you are taking away what you once gave us, those eyes with which we have seen, even in one feature of Lord Madhudvisha's form, the perfection of your entire creation." So, these are the 6 verses. That we are reading today. So, in these 6 verses, the first 3 verses are talking about the ecstatic symptoms which the gopis develop. The ecstatic symptoms which the gopis developed when they heard that Kṛṣṇa is going to Mathura. So the first 3 verses are talking about it. And in fact, the verse 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. These are the 5 verses which are talking about the reaction which the gopis had when they heard that Kṛṣṇa is going towards Mathura. So 2 verses were already covered by His Grace Sarvabhauma Prabhu yesterday, very beautifully. And now the 3 verses, 19, 20 and 21, is the song by the gopis. When they sing about Kṛṣṇa, the Viraha Geet, the 3 verses are dealing with that. So the first section is dealing with their reaction, and the second section, the next 3 verses, is the song when they cried out for Kṛṣṇa. That is the 3 verses. So these are the 2 sections. So let's look at these 2 sections one by one. In introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada very interestingly brings out life sketch of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in his life sketch, in the very first page, Srila Prabhupada writes something very interesting. He writes, "The highest form of transcendental worship of the Lord was exhibited by the damsels of Brajbhumi in the form of pure affection for the Lord. And Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends this process as the most excellent mode of worship." So Srila Prabhupada, in introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam, in one paragraph, he summarizes the entire philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this particular line is a translation, is a part of one particular verse. We all have heard of this verse. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadho Vargenaya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema pumartho mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhor matamidam tatradara naparaha. So this is a verse by Srinath Chakravarti, one Acharya in Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. In his Chaitanya Manjusha, he quotes this verse, and Srila Prabhupada exactly translates this verse in the introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says, this is the essence of sum and substance of entire Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. In one verse, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us that Sri Kṛṣṇa, who is Kṛṣṇa in Vrindavan, Vrajesh Tanay, Sri Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa, the son of Nanda Maharaj, is Aradhya. And Tad Dham Vrindavanam. And therefore, Kṛṣṇa's Dham, Sri Vrindavan Dham, is also worshipable for us. And Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Gaya Kalpita. The Upasana, or the method of worship which was taken up by the Vrajvadhus of Vrindavan, by the Gopis of Vrindavan, is the most excellent mode of worship. Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. And all of this can be proved through Srimad Bhagavatam. Prema Pumartho Mahan, and the perfection of life is to achieve Krishna Prem. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mat. This is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, therefore Srila Prabhupada says here, the method of worship which was taken up by the Vrajvadhus of Vrindavan is the most excellent, is the most exalted. And this is recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu's avatar. What was the reason for Mahaprabhu's avatar? Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirnah kalo samarpayitum unnatojjvala rasam swabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara dyutikadamba sandipitah sada hridaya kandare sphuratuvah shachinandana. So one of the reasons of Mahaprabhu's avatar, that he came to teach the world or show the world the exalted position of the gopis. Unnata ujjvala rasa. Mahaprabhu came to give samarpayitum unnata ujjvala rasa. That rasa which was never given in the past. Anarpita charim chirat. From long time. What is that long time? That long time is one day of Brahma, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So Mahaprabhu gave this bhakti in the previous kalpa. And now again Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in this Kali Yuga to give this unnata ujjvala rasa. Ujjvala rasa means madhurya rasa. Madhurya rasa is present everywhere. It is present in the Vaikuntha Leela as well. Madhurya rasa can be found. The Venkatachalapati in Tirupati, he also is marrying Padmavati. There is madhurya rasa. In Dwaraka also there is madhurya rasa. So that is ujjvala rasa. But in this Vrindavan, this ujjvala rasa achieves its highest perfection. Therefore it is called unnata ujjvala rasa. Jayo jayo ujjvala rasa sarva rasa sar. This is ujjvala rasa, sarva rasa sar. Parakiya bhave jaha vrajete prachar. But in this Vrindavan, especially this unnata ujjvala rasa, the rasa which is completely ecstatic, which is the highest among all the madhurya rasa also, that is the love of the Vraj Gopis. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give this particular mood in his incarnation. Because this unnata ujjvala rasa, this madhurya rasa in Vrindavan is special. Because there are three characteristics of this rasa. There is durlabhata in this rasa. There is bhaya and there is varyamanata. There is hindrance in the pastimes. In this Madhurya, there is hindrance. Unlike in the Dwaraka, where there is no hindrance in Madhurya Rasa. But here in Vrindavan, there is hindrance. That is called Varyamanata. Durlabhata, there is rarity. And there is fear, there is bhaya. So these three characteristics in this Vrindavan increase the taste of the pastime for Kṛṣṇa. And therefore, this Unnata Ujjvala Rasa, the love of the Vraj Gopis, this is the highest. And Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mata is that all of this is the love of the Vraj Gopis can be seen in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. The pages of Srimad Bhagavatam are the testimony for the most exalted position of the Vraj Gopis, because they achieved this Unnat Ujjvala Rasa. Therefore, if we wish to understand the glories of these Vraj Gopis, the Vraj Gopis, their glories is filled in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many places we can see that how Vraj Gopis are the most exalted devotees. Many places. But let's look at what Kṛṣṇa has to say. Now, who can better explain the mood of the Vraj Gopis than Sri Kṛṣṇa himself? Kṛṣṇa in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in the 46th chapter, when he is sending Uddhav to Vrindavan, when he has come to Mathura and he is sending Uddhav to Vrindavan, Kṛṣṇa says to Uddhav, Gaccha Uddhav Vrajam Saumya Pritrorna Pritimavahan Gopinam Madviyogadhim Matsandeshair Vimochaya. Shri Kṛṣṇa, he says that Uddhav, go to Vrindavan. Why? Gaccha Uddhav Vrajam Saumya, to give pleasure to my parents, to give pleasure to Pritim Avahan, to give pleasure to Nanda and Yashoda. Go immediately to Vrindavan. But then in the next line he says, Gopinam madviyogadhim matsandeshair vimochaya. Also, mat sandeshair, by my giving my message to the gopis especially in Vrindavan, you take away their pain of separation. So when Kṛṣṇa spoke like that to Uddhav, Uddhav thought, oh Kṛṣṇa, I understand you have relationship with your mother and father. They have taken care of you in this Vrindavan. So it's fine. It's understood that yes, you want to send a message to Nanda and Yashoda. But what relationship do you have with the gopis? So when Uddhav asked this question, Kṛṣṇa became ecstatic. And in 3 verses, Kṛṣṇa starts describing the glories of gopis. So our acharyas write there that Kṛṣṇa actually wants to send message especially for the Vraj Gopis. The message that Kṛṣṇa sent from Mathura was especially meant for the Vraj Gopis. So in 3 verses, Sri Kṛṣṇa glorifies the Vraj Gopis. Taman manaska mat prana madarthe tyakt dehika Mameva daitam preshtham atmanam manasagata. So when Kṛṣṇa started speaking to Uddhav, he's saying that, oh, Uddhav, these Vraj Gopis, who are they? Ta man manaska. Their minds are completely attached to me. Mat prana. They are holding their life here only because of me. They consider me daita. They consider me daita. They consider me preshtha. Na tu daita eva preshtha, apitu preshtha. Na tu preshtha eva, apitu atmana. He says, atmana, these gopis consider me their very life. So in this way, when Kṛṣṇa starts glorifying the Vraj Gopis, we can understand that what is the position of Sri Vraj Gopis in this Vrindavan. And in the last verse, in the 3rd verse, Krishna says, Dhārayantyati krichṛena pranah pranān kathanchana pratyāgamana sandesher ballavyo me madatmika. He says that, oh Uddhav, Gacha, immediately go to Vrindavan, because these gopis, they can give up their lives at any point of time. Dharayanta ati krichṛena, with great difficulties they are holding up their lives. And they are just waiting for my message, because I said to these Vraj gopis before coming to Mathura that Ayasya, I will come. And with that hope, they are just holding on to their life air. And therefore Krishna says, Me madatmika. These Vraj gopis, they are madatmika. Srila Sridhar Swamipad says here that Krishna means to say that the heart of Vraj gopis, their Atma resides in me. And that's why they are able to hold up to their lives. Otherwise, in other case, the pain of separation, the fire of separation would have burnt their bodies. But because I keep their Atma with me, therefore they are able to hold up to their lives. Therefore Krishna says, Madatmika. Another meaning of Madatmika, our Acharya says that Krishna means to say that Madatmika, there is no difference between me and the Vraj gopis, O Uddhav. The gopis' heart reside in me, and my heart resides in the Vraj gopis. So this is the exalted position of Vraj gopis. Who can even fathom this position of Vraj gopis of Vrindavan? And this can be seen in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna himself glorifies the exalted position of Vraj gopis. Therefore in Brahma Samhita also, Brahmaji says, Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitabhi tabhiya eva nija rupataya kalabhi goloka eva nivasatya khilatma bhuto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. There Brahmaji is saying, Anand Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhi. These Vraj gopis, they are embodiment of transcendental mellows. They are Anand Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhi. They are manifestation of Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. And what are they? Tabhiya eva Nijaroop. They are Nijaroop of Krishna. Tabhiya eva nijaroop taya kalabhi. Kalabhi means they are ansha of Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna and the Vraj gopis. Goloka eva nivasatya khilatma bhuto govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. This is the exalted position of Vraj gopis. There is no difference as such. They are sakshat kala of Krishna. Krishna says in Upanishad, Eko ham bahushyama. Krishna was one, but he became many. First he expands as Srimati Radharani. Then Srimati Radharani, out of her intense desire to serve Krishna in multitude ways, in various ways, Srimati Radharani expands herself as the Vraj gopis of Vrindavan. In unlimited Vraj gopis to serve Krishna in unlimited ways. So this is the exalted position of the Vraj gopis of Vrindavan. Who can understand? And these verses that we see here, these verses describe that position of the Vraj gopis in Vrindavan. These verses, especially the first 3 verses that we are discussing, and if we take the 2 verses from behind, yesterday His Grace Sarvabhauma Prabhu was explaining that how these verses describe that the reaction of the Vraj gopis when they heard that Krishna is going towards Mathura. And what is their reaction? The first verse, 14th verse, the half of the verse describe about the reaction of the Tatastha, Bhadra. The half verse, the second part of the 14th verse, describes the reaction of Shyamala. who are Suhrit Paksha, the second kind of gopi. And Sri Shukadeva Goswami here, he is establishing Uttaruttar Shreshtata. He is establishing the exalted position of gopis even in Vrindavan. The Tatastha are one kind of gopis. Higher than them, there are Shyamala, the gopis who are Suhrit Paksha. They have equal love towards Radharani and Chandravali. Then in one verse, the 15th verse, describes the position, the reaction of the hṛdi-spṛśaś gopi. Hṛdi-spṛśaś means Chandravali. Her reaction, our acharyas describe. And then in two verses, the 15th and the 16th verse, 16th and the 17th verse, that describes the reaction of Madhusneha gopi. Madhusneha means Srimati Radharani and her associates. So our acharyas says that in this 5 verses, from 14 to 18, in these 5 verses, our acharyas established the Uttarottar Shreshtata of the Braj gopis in Vrindavan. And there, Sri Shukadeva Goswami dedicates one verse for Chandravali, but he dedicates 2 verses for Srimati Radharani. Therefore, even among the gopis, in these verses, we find that our acharyas established the exalted position of Srimati Radharani even among the gopis. Therefore, our Shastra says, Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopi Susavaika Vishnu Ratyanta Vallabha. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha. But the second line says, Sarva Gopishu Sa Eva Eka. Among all the gopis, Sa Eva Eka, Srimati Radharani, her position, Vishnur Atyanta Vallabha. She is the only one who is most dear to Sri Kṛṣṇa. Devi Kṛṣṇa Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. And therefore, in these first part of the verses, the most exalted position of Srimati Radharani is established. That how, when Srimati Radharani heard, when the Madhusneha gopis heard that Kṛṣṇa is going to Mathura, their reaction is most exalted. Therefore, our acharyas, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his literature, Prem Samput, he establishes the most exalted position of Srimati Radharani through a conversation. In his literature, Prem Samput, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he presents a very beautiful pastime of Kṛṣṇa in Vrindavan. He says that one time Srimati Radharani does man, and Kṛṣṇa, to do the Manabhanga Leela, he disguises himself as a Devangana, as a heavenly damsel, and he comes to do Manabhanga of Kṛṣṇa. And when he comes to do this Manabhanga Leela, he sits in front of Srimati Radharani, disguised himself as a Devangana, and he shows himself that he is very depressed, he is very sad. So Srimati Radharani, who is very, very compassionate, she asks Kṛṣṇa, who has disguised himself as Devangana, she asks that, oh dear lady, oh Sakhi, what has happened to you? Why are you so depressed? For a long time, Kṛṣṇa doesn't speak. But then, as Srimati Radharani asks more and more the cause of her depression, Kṛṣṇa speaks. And Kṛṣṇa says that, oh dear Sri Radhika, I am a Devangana, a heavenly damsel, And I got attracted by the flute sound of Sri Kṛṣṇa. And I came to reside here in Sri Vrindavan. And I resided here at the Vamshivat. And while residing at Vamshivat, I was peeking into all the pastimes that are happening in Vrindavan. But when I saw your quality, Sri Radhika, I got so much attracted to you. But one day, Kṛṣṇa, he played his flute on the banks of Yamuna at the Vanshivata, and he called all the gopis for the Maharas. He called all the gopis for the Maharas, but he takes you alone in the forest of Vrindavan. So I was so happy that your position is so exalted, O Sri Radhika. But then, Kṛṣṇa is such cruel-hearted. At the dead of night, in the middle of forest, Kṛṣṇa leaves you alone and he goes away. Therefore, from that day onward, Sri Radhika, I became completely depressed. That Kṛṣṇa has no love for you, O Sri Radhika. He has no love for you. And I do not understand that why do you still go behind him? He doesn't have any love for you. So Prem Samput describes this particular conversation. And there, Srimati Radharani reveals her heart. And she establishes that how each and every act of Kṛṣṇa in this Vrindavan, this is just to establish the most exalted position of Srimati Radharani in this Vrindavan. So there, Prem Samput means Sanduk. It means a treasure box. So through this literature, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur opens up the treasure box of Srimati Radharani's heart, where the jewels of Kṛṣṇa's love are being hidden. And he opens up that for us. So there, Srimati Radharani describes that why did Kṛṣṇa leave Srimati Radharani in the middle of forest at the dead of night? Why did Kṛṣṇa leave? So there, the unauthorized speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam, what they will say? They will say that Kṛṣṇa left Srimati Radharani because Srimati Radharani became proud. That's what people say generally. Nayamam yatra te manam na pareyhum chalitum. I do not, O Kṛṣṇa, Srimati Radharani said in the middle of Rasa dance that, O Kṛṣṇa, now I do not wish to walk. I am completely tired, so please take me wherever you want. So the unauthorized commentators or speakers, they will say that, oh, Srimati Radharani became proud and therefore Kṛṣṇa, who does not tolerate pride in his devotees, he left Srimati Radharani. But this is such a nonsense explanation. Can pride touch the transcendental Sri Anga of Srimati Radharani? No. The pride cannot touch. And can Kṛṣṇa leave Srimati Radharani in the middle of forest alone? Is Kṛṣṇa so cruel that he will leave Srimati Radharani alone? No, even that is not possible. Because Kṛṣṇa is bound by the love of Srimati Radharani. It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Kṛṣṇa is Madana Mohana. He attracts everyone. But till when he is Madan Mohan? Till the time he is with Srimati Radharani, he is Madan Mohan. But if Srimati Radharani leaves, he himself becomes Madana Mohita. He himself becomes enchanted by Madana. So this is the exalted position of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, in Prem Samput, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reveals through the words of Srimati Radharani, why did Kṛṣṇa leave? Kṛṣṇa left because he says, Srimati Radharani says, because Srimati Radharani, while she was doing all the pastimes with Kṛṣṇa in the Rasa dance, when the gopis were away, she developed a desire that where are my sakhis? I want to meet with my sakhis. Because Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Sakhi vina ei lila pushti nahi hai, Sakhi raksa vistariya, Sakhi aswadaye. This Vrindavan pastime is for the pleasure of others, for the pleasure of Sakhis. The pastimes of Radha and Krishna is for the pleasure of the Sakhis of Vrindavan. This is the nature of love. Atmendriya priti vancha tare bali kam, and Krishnendriya priti iksha dhare prem naam. The nature of love is that it is always for the satisfaction of others. So Srimati Radharani's activities, her chesta is for satisfaction of Krishna. Krishna's chesta is for the satisfaction of Srimati Radharani's. The Sakhi's chesta is for the satisfaction of Radha and Krishna. And Radha Krishna's pastime is for the satisfaction of Sakhis. So if the gopis of Vrindavan are not present with Srimati Radharani and Krishna, Srimati Radharani doesn't feel happy. And when she feels like that, Krishna understood. Therefore she said that let us wait here for some time, so that the gopis also will join our pastime. And when she said like that, the Nayamam yatra te mana, oh Krishna, let us wait here for some time. She did not reveal her intentions, but Krishna understood that yes, this is what Srimati Radharani wants. But Krishna thought that if I stay back with Sri Radhika here, when the gopis will arrive here, what will happen? When the gopis will arrive, they will say, the Swapaksha, Lalita and Vishakha, they will say, oh Sri Radhike, you did not give us the opportunity to serve. You went alone with Krishna. The Pratipakshas, they will say that this Sri Radhika, she is so selfish. She took Krishna alone out of rasa. So everybody will start blaming Sri Radhika. And therefore Krishna, thinking this in her mind, he thought that I should take all the blame upon me. And Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reveals the entire secret of Sri Rasa Leela there. And Krishna therefore left Sri Radhika in the middle of forest and he hid himself in the bushes of Sri Vrindavan nearby. And as he hid himself, what happened? Sri Radharani, she saw that Krishna is not there. And as she saw that Krishna isn't there, she cried out to Krishna. Ha natha ramana preshta, kwasi kwasi mahabhuja, dasyaste kripanayame sakhe darshaya sannidhim. And as she cried this statement, she faints in ecstasy. She could not bear the separation from Krishna. And very soon the gopis arrived. And when the gopis saw this condition of Srimati Radharani, nobody blamed Sri Radhika. And everybody, all the gopis of Vrindavan, they understood that Sri Radhika has developed the most exalted love for Krishna. So through this particular pastime, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur establishes that whether be it milan or be it separation, be it viraha, Radhika's position is the highest. Because in Milan, also Krishna took Srimati Radharani alone. In separation also, the gopis thought that now we could at least bear the separation from Krishna. We were trying to find Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. But look at Sri Radhika. Her love is so exalted that she could not even bear the separation from Sri Krishna. And this was the purpose of the entire Rasa Leela, to establish the most exalted position of Srimati Radharani. And therefore in these verses, the first 3 verses here, Srimati Radharani's position is so great that she could not bear the separation from Krishna. And therefore, in the 16th verse, here it is being explained that what happened, what was the reaction of Srimati Radharani? Smarantyaś cāparāḥ śaurer anurāga-smiteritāḥ. When Srimati Radharani remembered that now Krishna is going, what happened? hṛdi-spṛśaś citra-padā giraḥ sammumuhuḥ. She started remembering the words which Krishna spoke to her in solitary places, and she became completely enchanted. And in this verse especially, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out to the word śaureḥ. Śaureḥ is a name of Krishna. Why Śauri? Śauri, the name of Kṛṣṇa, signifies that he is born in Shuravansha. What is Shuravansha? Tatasya Śauri Bhagavat prachodita sutam samadāya swasutika grihat. Śauri is the name of Vasudeva also, because Vasudeva is father of Surasen. So therefore Vasudeva's name is Śauri. And Krishna's name is also because of his father, his name is also Śauri. But why Srimati Radharani is calling Kṛṣṇa with the name Śauri? Because even in the mood of separation, even when there is so much viraha, there is so much pain of separation from Kṛṣṇa, Srimati Radharani gets man. And therefore, Sri Radhika is saying that Śauri, Kṛṣṇa is Śauri, he is born in Shurvansa, let him go to Mathura. In man. And therefore, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that even in extreme separation, in the heart of a beloved, man cannot develop. But Srimati Radharani's position is so high that even in extreme separation from Kṛṣṇa, man develops. And therefore she calls Śauri. And this can be seen throughout the praises of Srimad Bhagavatam. Na khalu gopika nandano bhavan akhila dehinam antaratmadrik. In the Gopi Gita also the gopis are praying. The Nakhalu Gopika Nandano Bhavan. The gopis are separated from Kṛṣṇa. Radhika is separated from Kṛṣṇa. But even in separation there is man. And they are saying, Nakhalu Gopika Nandano Bhavan, O Kṛṣṇa, you are not the son of Mother Yashoda. How can you be the son of Mother Yashoda? Mother Yashoda, she is so soft-hearted. The second meaning of this verse, which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reveals, Na khalu gopika nandano bhavan, you are not Gopika Nandan, you are not Yashoda Nandan. Because if you were Yashoda Nandan, how could you be so hard-hearted that you left us alone in the middle of forest in this Vrindavan? You could not have left us. What are you then? Then they say, Na khalu gopika nandano bhavan akhila dehinam antaratmadrik. Akhila dehinam, just like Paramatma who sits in the heart of the jivas, you are like that of a Paramatma. Why? Because Paramatma, imagine if a person who burns in fire, if a fire catches a person's body and he calls out with great eagerness and pain, he calls out to Paramatma, Oh Paramatma, please help me, please come and help me, please come and help me. Will Paramatma come out and help? He is sitting in his heart. Will the Paramatma ever come out and help? No. Why? Because Paramatma is upadrashtacha anumantacha. He only sees things from a distance. That's all. Upadrashta anumanta. So Kṛṣṇa, you are also like that of a Paramatma. You know that we are suffering in this forest of Vrindavan in your separation, but you still do not come and meet with us. Therefore, even in great separation also, the gopis exhibit, and especially Srimati Radharani exhibit the mood of man, even in separation. And that's why the position of Sri Gopis, and especially the position of Sri Radharani in this verse, is established as the highest among all the gopis. Please give me 5 more minutes and I'll conclude, because we want to touch upon these 3 verses also. Therefore, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his Radhikashtakam, he sings a very beautiful prayer to Srimati Radharani. In his 6th verse, he says, Nitya Navya Rupa Keli Krishna Bhava Sampada Krishna Raga Bandha Gopa Yavate Shukam Pada Krishna Krishna Rupa Vesha Keli Lagna Sat Samadhika Mahyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika. All the gopis have love for Krishna. But Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Krishna Rupa Vesha Keli, Krishna Bhava Sampada, Nitya Navya Rupa Keli. Srimati Radharani is her Rupa, her ever fresh form, her ever fresh pastimes. Nitya Navya Rupa Keli and Krishna Bhava Sampada, the treasure of Krishna's love which she holds in her heart. When the gopis of Vrindavan, when they see Radharani's love for Krishna, Krishna Bhava Sampada, then Krishna Raga Bandha Gopa Yauvateshu, those gopis who are bound in affection to Krishna, Krishna Raga Bandha Gopa Yauvateshu, they also kampada, they also tremble. Their hairs start standing on end. They have horripilations over their bodies. Because when they see Sri Radhika's condition, that her condition, be it in milan or in separation, is the most exalted. And therefore, even the Vraj gopis of Vrindavan, they get kampada, they tremble. And this is why Sri Radhika's position is the highest, is the most exalted. And throughout our Acharya's commentaries, literatures, we can find that this is established. So this is the first three parts where Srimati Radharani's position is being established. The next three verses are dealing with the songs of the Vraj Gopis. So this Udgar of the Vraj Gopis that came out, where they are saying, Aho vidhatas tavana kvachiddaya sanyojya maitra pranayena dehina tanshakritarthan vyunanksha parthakam vikriditam ter bhakacheshtritam yatha. So the Vraj Gopis, now that Krishna is going towards Vrindavan, they start cursing Brahma. That, O Brahma, aho vidhatas, O vidhata, O Brahma, tava na kvachiddaya, don't you have any mercy? Sanyojya maitra pranayena dehinam, you bring two people who are in love with each other, you bring them together, and aparthakam, without they being fulfilled their complete desire, you take them away. So you brought us together with Krishna, and now Brahma, you Vidhi, you are now taking us away. Now that we haven't fulfilled our complete desires also, now you are taking it away. Your act is like vikriditam ter bhakacheshtitam yatha. You're playing like us, you're playing like this with us is like arabhakacheshtita, is like a play of a child. Just like a child plays. So you are playing with us. Now, just like a child plays with the toys, he takes two sections of the toys and then he makes them meet and then he breaks them apart. So you are playing with us like this. So Shri Brahmaji, if he says, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that if Brahma says that, no, you are saying me Arabhaka, I am not a child, I am Pitamaha. I am the father of this entire universe. How can you tell me that I am like a child? So the next verse, the gopis, they say, Yastvam pradarsyasita kuntalavritam mukunda vaktram sukapolamunnasam shokāpanodasmitalesha sundaram karosi parokshamasadhute kritam. Okay, if you say that your play is not like a child, then all your act, they are like asadhu. They are most abominable. Why? They are cursing Brahma like this. Because yastvam pradarshya sita kuntalavritam. First you showed us the beautiful form of Kṛṣṇa. The most beautiful form of Kṛṣṇa you showed us. Our eyes got so much attracted that we gave up our eyes to Sri Kṛṣṇa. We gave up our entire lives to Kṛṣṇa. And now, karoshi paroksham asadhu te kritam, now you are taking Kṛṣṇa away. So if your act is not like a child, then your act is most abominable, because now you are taking Kṛṣṇa away from us. And therefore, they curse Brahma that you are a datta apahari. Just like a person who first gives charity to a person and he takes his charity away. This is considered most abominable. Therefore, first you gave us the darshan of Sri Kṛṣṇa. We gave up our entire lives. Akṣanavatam phalamidam na param vidama sakhya pashunnanu niveshayator vayasya vaktram brajesha sutayor anavenu jushtam yairva nipitam anurakta kataksha moksham. The gopis say that our eyes, we do not know any other fruit. Akṣanavatam phalamidam na param vidama. Those who have eyes, the only fruitful thing that they can do with their eyes, that they can see the beautiful form of Shyamasundar. So you gave us these eyes and we saw the beautiful form of Shyamasundar, but now you are taking this away. So therefore your act is asadhu te kritam. Your act is most abominable. And in the third verse, they say that, oh, krūrastvam akrūra samakhyayasmanas. Oh Vidhata, oh Brahma, you have come in the name of Akrura. In the name of Akrura you have appeared in this Vrindavan. But actually you are not Akrura. You are the most cruel-hearted. You are Krura. You are naming yourself as if we will not understand that you are, hey, here is Brahma coming as Akrura. But you are the most cruel-hearted. Akrurastam samakhyaya chakshurhi dattam harase batagyavat. And you are taking away our eyes from us. Now if Brahma questions, chakshurhi harate, there the gopis are saying that you are taking away our eyes, our very eyes you are taking away. Now if Brahma says that, no, I am not taking away your eyes. I am taking away the gopis I am taking away Kṛṣṇa from Vrindavan. The gopis say that, oh Brahma, don't you know? We have given up our eyes to Kṛṣṇa. You taking away Kṛṣṇa from here is taking away our eyes from us. And therefore, the gopis, they curse Brahma. They curse Vidhata in these 3 verses, that you do not have any intelligence, O Brahma, that you give us the eyes to see the beautiful form of Shyamasundar, but you take this form away. And this is seen. Brahma ji has been cursed so many times by the gopis. Even in the Gopi Gita, the gopis curse Brahma. Atati yad bhavan ahanikananam truti yugayate tvam apashyatam kutila kuntalam Shrimukham chate jada udikshatam pakshma kridrisham. There also they curse Brahma, that, oh Brahma, you do not know how to create. So this is the entire section of these 6 verses, where the first 3 verses are dealing with establishing the most exalted position of Srimati Radharani, and the next 3 verses, the gopis, they are cursing Brahma. And why are you taking Kṛṣṇa away from Mathura? Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.